New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. All right, so before we get started, I just want to list that this is basically my second take about this whole, situation, and also going over some of the videos that she has listed directly on TikTok. So you can clearly see that above. And I'm going to also go over the fact that in one of the videos, she stated that yes, she is married, happily married, and that her husband volunteered later on, right after they were done having kids, to have a vasectomy. And she listed the reasons: because she, A, wanted to enjoy her sex life, B, didn't want to have to worry about unwanted pregnancies, and C, also didn't want to have to worry about STDs. Now, note yet again, these are her words and not mine. So, what I'm going to do here is go through a few of the clips, and I'm going to give my commentary in between those clips.
Question that's going to flood my inbox, and I'm kind of going to regret it, but it's a conversation that needs to be started. My son is 11 years old, and when he turns 14, I'm thinking about getting him a vasectomy. Now, to other boy moms, is this something that you guys are thinking about? If not, why? Any pointers, questions, concerns that y'all may have that maybe I might not have thought about? Let me know. Oh, I'm gonna regret that. Pretend I'm a salesperson. Sir, with this one procedure, male birth control, you will save every woman from unwanted pregnancies, all of the side effects, including death from birth control, they will no longer have to take. They will no longer be traumatized by the abortions they have to make because men are irresponsible with their seed. And you will never have to deal with a baby mama you did not make because you won't have one. No baby mamas. No baby mama drama. No bitter baby mamas. No getting into a new relationship and then having to deal with your baby mother and your kids. None of that. And all of that could be solved with one 15-minute procedure. Would you do it? It's a yes or no question. And if any man sees this, this is it. Yes or no?
All right, so this is where I have a problem with this section of the video. She originally, this is why I wanted to make sure to play the very first video that I made a first take of. She stated that she was going to get her son by the time he's at the age of 14 to, get a vasectomy, right? And it swapped from that to now asking grown men, would you go out here and get a vasectomy? You're swapping the two different topics. One, you're swapping from a topic of a 15, I'm sorry, of a preteen, right? Who doesn't know anything about the world, who doesn't know anything about responsibilities, right? Who doesn't know anything about what or how his life is going to potentially change by becoming a young father at that age, or potentially the effects of having an STD, at that age, and the unforeseen ramifications that that can also have on his body and also his life as well. And then on top of that, you wanted to, try to make it as some type of door to door, salesman pitch, as to say that, hey, man, guess what? If you decide, all of you, to get a vasectomy, guess what? All of our problems are solved. Now, this is the one main thing that I do know. My mother always taught me that you are responsible for yourself. Nobody can force you or make you do anything that you do not want to do. So, you as a man can get women pregnant, yes, but A woman always has the choice of saying no. A woman always has the choice of not getting pregnant. How? By either A, abstaining, number two, by using contraceptives of any which type, or number three, she just decides that she doesn't like your greeting, likes who you are, and guess what? No kids are going to be born from at least you. Now, if she decides to find a suitor in somebody else, then that is what it is. But I find it pretty funny how she's pointing 100% of the responsibility for women being pregnant solely and directly on men, as if women have no type of control of anything that is basically going on. And before I leave off of this, the answer is no. And that's because I had a very great mother, and I also had positive male role models who taught me better than to just run out here and get random women pregnant and to have a whole bunch of kids that, as a man, that I have not a shot in the dark of being able to fully take care of and to 100% be a father to, due to the fact of how much time that I would have to share with each in every child. So, like I said before, I know how to manage myself. So that's a no.
Have you thought about the concept though? Because this idea only goes against one thing that y'all been saying forever. Women have been saying forever. We don't want to get pregnant against our wills because we don't want to have to take birth control. We don't want to have to worry about abortions. We don't want to have to worry about foster care. We don't want to have to worry about children, having children we don't want to have, they are a burden. It is what it is. Like, it gives you everything. But the one thing that you're stuck on is you shouldn't do it against his will. What if he said it was okay? Would it be okay then? Or would you find another reason to argue about it? That's you, along with everybody else who said something negative, is thinking the same way. Can you not think critically? Is that something that you don't know how to do? Take that one little thing out of it. Why should all of those benefits be negated because of that one little negative? Because it is a little negative. Girls are on birth control all the time, but because it's a boy, it's a
Problem number two in this video, nowhere in there did she say that the women who are stating that they don't want to worry about having kids, which, note, this is a married woman who noted in one of her videos that her husband, that she's of course married to, decided to have a vasectomy, right? Because they didn't want to worry about kids. Now, if this was 100%, his own doing, where this is something that he thought about, like, all right, when at the age of 19, like, right, when I find the right woman, all right, after a few kids, I'm going to get a vasectomy, right? We don't know that. All I can basically assume is this is more than likely a conversation that both of them decided uh, to have. Because later on in the video, this is where you're going to hear her say that men not making this choice, for a variety of reasons is, misogyny, right? So the other things that she stated there did not hold any type of responsibility on women to abstain, to not get pregnant. Like I said before, all you have to do is teach people, right? Like I said, at the end of the day, if people want to, in a sense, be sexually active, right? That's what they're going to decide to do. But at least they have the knowledge of what can potentially happen or what is to come if they decide to dive into that pool. The problem comes when you have a lot of parents, when you have a lot of schools out here not teaching any of these kids any of the negatives that come with having unprotected sex, right? What comes, the fact of not trying to abstain, right, from sex. And nowhere in here, like I stated to you before, she's not putting any of the responsibility on women at all. She's just simply saying that, yo, the reason why women get pregnant is solely because of men. It's all men's fault for the reason that women get pregnant all the time. Women have, you know, no responsibility of it. Women have no control over it. It's just something, that happens every single time. And a woman is just forced to accept it. And she's forced to live with this burden, AKA a child. Yet again, her words, not mine. Like I said before, this seems to be an ongoing theme here.
We are happy to take the birth control that could give us upwards of everything, including blood clots and death, because we don't want to be impregnated and left to deal with a toxic man, because you know how toxic y'all can get. We don't want to be left with resentful fatherless children who take it out on us because y'all ain't there. We don't want to be left with the financial burden that is raising a child by ourselves. We don't want to deal with any of that. And one way to ensure that every woman is protected, at least from you, is by getting the vasectomy or getting the male birth control. We know that medicine isn't a joke either, but we don't have any alternative because men are too weak to do what has to be done in order to protect women. They only think about themselves. And even you, right now, said, it's not worth it for me. That's misogyny.
All right, because she decided to use the term now, like I told you guys earlier, let's go over the terminology, the definition of misogyny. Misogyny is the hatred or contempt for women or girls. It is a way to keep women at a lower status than men. In other words, misogyny maintains and enforces sexism. Women who reject subordination are punished by misogyny. Examples of punishment are sexual harassment and violence against women, which includes domestic violence and, in its most extreme forms, femicide, and misogynist terrorism. Misogyny also operates through coercion and psychological techniques aimed at controlling women and by legally or socially excluding women from full citizenship. In some cases, misogyny rewards women for accepting an inferior status. In feminist thought, misogyny also includes the rejection of feminine qualities. It holds in contempt institutions, work, hobbies, or habits associated with women. It rejects any aspects of men that are seen as feminine or unmanly. When directed against LGBT people, it may be taken the form of homophobia or trans misogyny. So after reading the definition, anybody in the crowd, right, who's watching this video, let me know where in this definition does it state that if a man does not get a vasectomy, right, that he is misogynistic because he's being selfish and because he doesn't want to get a vasectomy. That's nowhere in there dealing with a vasectomy, dealing with any type of form of birth control or prophylactic for men. And as she stated before, yet again, men are the enemy, right? Men are too weak to do the right things for women. Like I said before, this is a common theme that she is basically spinning where only men are fully responsible, 100% responsible for women getting pregnant. Again, if a woman does not want to get pregnant, she will not get pregnant. Like I said, we're not dealing with extenuating circumstances, right? We're not dealing with those variables, right? That people are deciding that they want to throw in. Well, oh, what if this happened to a woman? Or what if this happened to a woman? Or you know the stats on this. We're not dealing with none of that because the very first thing that she stated about this conversation was about her 14-year-old son. When he turns 14, she stated that she was going to have him get a vasectomy. And she stated later on that if, men get vasectomies, right, because men are the enemy and we're irresponsible, that it's going to save a lot of women heartache, right? That women aren't going to have to, take a lot of chemicals and put them into their bodies. They're not going to have to go get, surgeries done and, abortions done and, a variety of other things like that, which let's just know that's a woman's body. If she wants to take birth control, guess what? A woman's going to take birth control. If she doesn't, she doesn't. If a woman wants to go out there, right, and have an abortion, then a woman is going to go out there and do that. If a woman doesn't want to do that, she's not going to do it. Like I said before, we're staying on the whole basis of that. This is something that two people, a male and a female, came together and decided to sleep together. And now you have to deal with the aftermath. And yet again, further proof that she's not trying to tell women to take responsibility for choices. You yet again have her stating that women don't want to be left dealing with kids who resent their fathers, right? And they don't want to be the main people to deal with that burden. But 100%, let's be honest here. The child didn't ask to be here, and you selectively chose that man to sleep with. You said yes. Y'all decided to get a room or be in a relationship, however it was, and you laid down with that man. You made a conscious decision at that time, not thinking about the future, not thinking about if he's husband material, if he's boyfriend material, if he's father material, if he's provider material. You didn't think about any of that when you decided to lay with that man. So now you want to start to say that, well, it's you guys' fault. And since I'm pregnant, now I have to sit up there and the kid is born, right? I have to now deal with the fact that my child is resenting me because of you. No, 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 no. The child resents you because of the choices that you decided to make because that child did not ask to be here, which means that you, as a woman, need to manage, right, your energies better, and you need to be more selective in the men that you decide to lay down with. That's something that needs to be said. This is something that I've been saying on my platform for a very long time. But like I said before, I guess people don't listen.
So what if he wanted to do it? What if he wanted to do it? What if he thought the way that I thought, which is me doing this one thing can help women with a slew of issues that come from them getting pregnant against their will? What then? Would you find another reason to make it a problem? Because if he's willing to do it, what complaint do y'all have now? So him saying, okay, I'll do it, negates all the negative impact that it has on us. So because they don't want to do it, it's okay. Forget all the benefits that we would be reaping for it. Cool.
Dark that her son wants to even get a vasectomy is due by way of the fact that his father got one because he had a conversation, more than likely, with his wife, who is clearly the woman here. And due to that, he would more than likely, follow in his father's footsteps, right? So, either which way it goes, either a conversation with her or a conversation with the father, these are both people who are pro vasectomy. So he's not going to really have a decision in this, right? Because the numbers, in a sense, are already against him. And then on top of that, the person that he looks up to already decided to have one. So in his mind, he's like, all right, well, if my dad sat up there and had one, then it should be fine for me to sit up there and get one, as well. But like I stated before, and she kept stating throughout the whole video, the benefits for women, the benefits for women, the benefits for women. Men are the enemy. Men, this is your fault. Men take responsibility for all of the things that you basically put onto women, aka a burden, aka a child, and you need to do the right things by all of you men out there going to get a vasectomy. And if you don't decide to get a vasectomy, that's you being selfish. That's you only thinking about yourself. And that's misogynistic. And that's misogyny. Like I said before, and she wanted to make a blanket statement, right? She was saying that her son, in a sense, if this is something that he wanted to do, this is something that would benefit all women. How many women do you really think that your son is going to go out here and, you know, have that type of relationship with? Like, how many women do you really think he's going to be going after? Like I said before, it starts at a young age when you teach kids certain things. Like I said before, because my mom taught me, I waited a little bit, later on in life, right? In order to, start having sex. Because in a sense, in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm looking at how my other peers are basically going. I'm seeing girls, and sitting in class, pregnant, disappearing, not even finishing a school year. I'm seeing dudes out here, with babies and, a variety of things like that. Or you hear about people having, STDs, or you're able to actually visibly see these things on people's faces. Like, yo, I learned, right, from reading. I also learned from my mom because she was a nurse. And then on top of that, you got the real world, which will show you the very harsh truth and reality that, your parents can't exactly give to you in a book. Actually seeing people suffer and go through a lot of these things, like it puts more of an emphasis, right, on the teachings. All I'm hearing is that there is a lack of teaching going on, right? I hear that, you're trying to put full-fledged responsibility directly on your son, because he's going to grow up to be a man, because more than likely somewhere in your life you had a man that was there. Not sure if it might have been your father, not sure if it might have been a previous boyfriend from before, but there was a man in your life that more than likely hurt you. And because you were hurt, you were like, you know what? I got to start sitting up there looking at things differently. I got to sit up there and start putting the blame on X, Y, Z, and da 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 da. That's not how this works. If you specifically chose a man and things took place, take responsibility from that, learn from that mistake, and then move on. That doesn't mean that you basically go from that responsibility to then go into the extreme and be like, you know what? That because I was hurt by a man, the next thing I'm going to sit up there and do, I'm going to have my husband get a vasectomy to prove my point. And then the next thing I'm going to sit up and do, if I ever have a son, I'm going to have him get a vasectomy at 14. Like, this seems 100% crazy. And if people can't 100%, see this, that's ridiculous. But like I said, to each is their own, because she already stated before that if you're in a sense against her point, right, for men getting vasectomies, that you're not using critical thinking, right? So in her mind, the only time people are actually critically thinking is if they're agreeing 100% with her point, and that's ridiculous. That is 100% ridiculous. If she would have put it to the fact of think about, the different possibilities, right? I might be able to sit up there and go somewhere with that. But you literally stated that people are not critically thinking if they basically vote against what it is that you're saying, which is having your son and or men out here in the world to all get vasectomies, because it's going to 100% benefit women, and it's going to 100%, stop a lot of the things out here going on with women when it has to do with their bodies, pregnancy, birth control, and so on and so on and so on. But like I said, at the end of the day, if a woman wants to take any type of contraceptive, if a woman want to use a dental dam, that's her choice. If a woman wants to use a male condom, that is her choice. If she wants to have sex unprotected, that is her choice. If she wants to use birth control, that is her choice. If a woman wants to get an abortion, guess what? That is her choice. But you're not saying any of those things. You're not even saying that, yo, women, just go out here and, abstain from sex. Don't have no type of sex at all. You're not telling them that. You're not telling them that. But you're making sure to tell men to go out here and have vasectomies. You're making sure to put videos out here to get the idea into more than likely other women's minds that if they have sons, like, hey, you should think about having your young teen go out here and get a vasectomy, because it's going to save us trouble and it's going to save other women out there trouble. Okay. Okay, like I said, I 100% believe in teachings, because that's exactly what I went by. That's what I grew up with, and my life ended up pretty great. So, like I said before, I can't speak for everybody else, because everybody does not really want to follow other people's teachings, even if it is their parents. But if a person is influential and the person is of value of that person's life, meaning a parent, right? And you have that type of relationship with your child is going to value all the information that you're telling them about abstaining and or using protection when deciding to go out there and have sex, so that there's no need for abortions. There's no need to sit up there and have a vasectomy. But whatever, to each is their own. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.